Welcome back to the Podcaster episode You Tell Us. Good to have everybody on the panel. Look at this panel today. Can you believe it? We got Mark back. We don't know who this is. He'll look up and interview. Danny! We found him.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Where was he hiding?
wow.
He's been under the table the whole time. Yeah.
He came up a little thinner.
Yeah. That's nice.
And then we have Christian, of course, Ethan. We have an exciting episode.
Yeah.
Well, to us it is. We are going to go into the rabbit hole, the deep rabbit hole of the Antichrist today.
Yes. In our new segment, it's our first edition of our new segment called Conspiracy Christians.
Yes.
Every time we don't have a guest on, we're going to go through a different conspiracy and give our thoughts as Christians.
Yeah.
So that's going to basically be the gist of it. But today we're starting with the conspiracy about the end of the world.
Yeah, well, the Antichrist.
Yeah.
End of the
it's more
world
cinematic saying it like that.
After
The intro.
Roll it! All right, Coffee, yes, hurry up. Their intro's going, so he can delete this.
No, it's not. Now it's not. Now
No,
you're on
it's
the
not.
now you're on the episode.
All right, hold on. Great.
All right. So while he's passing out the coffees, I have a question before we get into it.
This is
So how does it feel? I feel like it's like your ex-girlfriend and your current girlfriend meeting for the first time. Like we have our ex-co-host and our new co-host on at the same time. Like, is there any tension here?
Nah, me and Mark like each other.
Talking about?
We're the only two that wear hats.
Yeah, we're the cool ones.
Ethan's just a recurring guest.
Okay.
He's not a
When he's-
co-host.
when he's around.
So tell us a little bit about your life recently. We talked about your whole college thing last week. While they're pulling up the new topic, tell us about what happened there.
College is a scam, right?
Yeah. Not
We
all.
all agree?
Not all, but for certain. We said for like Bible. It's mainly Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, your voice good over there?
Yeah, it's good. I'm sorry. Is that what it-
Right, that's our new thing.
What?
What do you guys want to know about it?
Yeah, how'd you like it? Why'd you come back?
I came back because, it's a waste of my time. You can't really serve at college. You can't live a good Christian life there.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Christian college, it's not very Christian based at all. And it's a... All right, really? It's like a cult, in my opinion.
Well, I will disagree with that part.
You can't.
But you can't. I can't because I didn't come live it there. But others say there turn out fine. So I don't. And some go there and get more on fire for God. It just wasn't for you, And that's the difference sometimes, I think. But anyway, we don't want to waste time on that. We had that subject. Yeah. But it's good to have you back, though. I'm glad you're here, and Juliana's here today.
What do you think about the topic today?
Zair's here.
You have to wait and see later in the episode.
Yeah, let's get into it because this is going to be deep.
promoter.
But this is so. Let's do a disclaimer. This is just a conspiracy theory. So in other words, it's not scriptural.
We're not saying anything here is fact.
Yes.
We're not saying anything's fact.
Thanks,
it's just
bud.
an interesting topic.
Thanks, bud.
You can't prove it right. You can't prove it wrong. And that's why it's fun to talk about. And that's what every one of these segments of Conspiracy Christians is going to be like.
Yes.
We're not saying anything in these segments is true.
Right.
We're just saying it's interesting.
It's making you think on your own.
Right.
What if?
And we
What
got to
if?
give credit because this guy is the one
This
that
guy,
brought this up.
we can't say it's ours.
He had a 2-hour conversation with us last Sunday night before
He's been
our volleyball
gone.
game.
The aliens came and took him, and he's here to teach us now.
He went to Alaska and saw the Nephilim. Yeah. And that's where he's been.
That's the Antarctica, right?
Oh, yeah, Antarctica.
Well,
Did I
it's
say
above.
Alaska?
It's above Alaska. You
Okay.
got to go.
And anyway, so then he comes back now, and he's ready to tell us all the things that they taught him.
That smells like coffee. Finally, maybe Duncan got it right this week, ladies
All right,
and gentlemen.
so let's go to Uncle
We
Dan.
will give it a sip and a say.
This guy.
Sip and say. Every week I do one now.
Not even sponsored.
Last
I know.
week, Duncan. I don't care. I'm glad they don't sponsor. They're inconsistent. So this week we're going to find
Just
out.
like the podcast.
True.
All right, here we go. Uncle
Here
Dan.
we go. Uncle
Take us
Dan,
in.
let's bring it in.
All right.
Carrie said nice and gentle, nice and gentle.
So this theory of
Wacko.
this theory of mine is
Tinfoil hat.
is based
Now let's get into it. Here we go.
typically just on growing up, understanding Bible truths, and understanding technology and how the world runs, it kind of got me thinking, and I spent a lot of time thinking. So I want you to go back, think of, at the beginning, right? In the beginning, when God created heaven and earth and he created Adam and Eve, when Satan came on the scene for the
think my dad
first
was
time. What?
I think my dad was there for that.
Oh. So when Satan comes on the scene, he uses a serpent. And what's intriguing about that is Satan doesn't, why he picks a serpent and how he chooses to fool Eve.
Right.
And Satan does everything. Understanding Satan in his being, we give Satan a lot of credit. I love and hate to hear when pastors are like, oh, the devil made us do this, and the devil made us do that, and the devil's trying to do this, and the devil's not omnipresent.
Right.
The devil is not
agree.
omniscient. The devil is not all-knowing, right? And he is one being that can only be in one room. He can't know what's going on in another room unless it's reported to
He's
him.
not outside of space and time.
Yep.
He can only see what's in his time. He can't see the
He's
future.
not.
Can't see the past.
He's not omniscient.
Right.
We said that.
Said that. Omnipresent. Yeah. So he's not God. And I'm not saying Satan's not a formidable foe,
Right.
but at the same time, he is not God. And we give him a lot of credit for being very powerful in that aspect, and he's not. So when you take that into account, Satan has to fool the world and all of the teachings of historical and of Jesus, and he has to trick people into making him believe that he is God.
Right.
And when you look back at Eve and how he tricked Eve, it was a very pointed question, right? He tricked Eve by not knowing.
Yes.
Right? Like, oh, you trust God?
Right.
Like, you believe that you're and that's kind of what got Eve going. And when you take that into consideration, the one thing I believe about Satan is he doesn't change.
Right.
Right? So he's going to always be a liar. He's always going to be a deceiver. And in the end times, how can someone deceive? I always thought this growing up and hearing people like, I'm never gonna get fooled. Like,
how is he gonna fool?
right?
All these
Yeah,
people?
how's he gonna fool all these people? Even
And
though
we all know.
And you're talking about the Book of Revelation there.
Yeah.
Where he's going to send a great deception.
a great deception. And
Gotcha.
it doesn't matter because I know, and again, I'm a believer, but even folks that grow up in the church and the knowledge of it,
Right.
it's going to be hard to fool them.
Yeah.
Even because they're going to know the teachings of the Bible. And when you think of that, he's going to have to prove a lot. And, there's miracles and there's, and he brings fire from heaven. And we're going to quote a lot of Revelations here or paraphrase a lot of Revelations. But the one thing that I think we always thought is, the Antichrist is going to be possessed by the devil.
Right.
But the devil's not omnipotent, omnipresent, right? Omniscient. He's not any of those. So
Right.
even if he possesses a human being, how does he know everything?
Right.
How can he know? If you asked him, he would not know what was going on in another room next to him, right? So
He wouldn't know the future.
that's where it really start getting me to go and start diving into AI. And some of the things that have come out in the last week or two are really disturbing. But the first thing though is when you look at AI, and we have it all pulled up, right? I think we all have it pulled up. But if you type in a question, it instantly pulls up your answers.
Right.
And if you want to fool people, you're going to have to be all-knowing, and you're going to have to be omnipresent. And the mark of the beast, now we're going to move into that, and I never understood, we understood it, but we didn't understand it, right? We always thought they were going to get a mark on their forehead, on their hands, and it's just like a little odd. I mean, we all understood a chip possibly, but this takes me to John. And when John's on the island of Patmos, God allows him to see a vision of the end times.
Right.
And what's really intriguing when you think about this is when God allows him to see it, God does not explain what's happening to John. He allows him to see it, but he does not give him the words
to describe it.
Yes, he can't make it out.
So he allows John to describe it in his own words, in his own time.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that we now can use John's words and descriptions and take it into today's knowledge and say, oh, wow, okay, when he saw that, maybe he's seeing this. And I'll take it to this. So if John's seeing a dream and he sees that they have to pay with their forehead or they have to pay with their hand, right? How many times now when you look in front of your phone to pay for something, you just go like this?
Wow.
And you're paying for it. Or how many times if you have an Apple Watch or if you go to a Whole Foods, you could pay with your palm.
Yep.
Or you just turn your wrist and tap your watch.
Wow.
So John doesn't know what a watch is. John doesn't know what facial ID is.
You don't even know what socks are.
He doesn't even know what socks are. Correct, right? John's
Or
whole
tiny whiteys.
Mormons.
John's whole mentality is describing it in his own words. And I'm not saying that's still not a mark. You know, if you look at AI and the Neuralink, right, there's a lot of functions coming out with the Neuralink. But I have a hard time believing someone's going to get a tattoo on their forehead.
Right.
Right? Or on their wrist. Some people don't like being marked in that sense. So... But I think what we see is a lot of things of what John's explaining, and we have to be careful that we don't assume that some things are going to come out a little early and that we're going to have to be subject to. But you see what happened in England last weekend, where the universal ID has finally come into play.
Yes.
And you can't buy, sell, or trade without the universal ID. Which now it's like, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But here's where I go back and I tie it into godlike. I tie it to godlike in this sense. If the system can know everything on a drop, I can know Mark's deepest, darkest secrets if I know his passwords. I can know his Googling at 3 a.m. I can know his buying trends, what he's interested in, which once I know what he's interested in, I can then talk to Mark, and it feels like Mark and I will get along.
Where he likes to travel.
I can deceive him. Mm-hmm. I can deceive him.
You be his friend.
I can be his friend because I know his deepest, darkest secrets. Someone got
You
paid.
just paid me.
Someone got paid.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
He's being paid off by AI not to talk about
AI
it.
say, shut up, Mark. Don't you agree with these wackos?
So that thing, I think that you set it up well. So now let's go to open discussion about this.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish this
He's
one
almost
point.
there.
I'm almost
this
there.
co-host, man.
Sorry. I want to give everyone again, we talked about it so you know, but they don't know
They
where
don't
this
know
is
where we're
going.
coming.
All right, gotcha.
So with that, the great deceiver, if he can use AI in the future, it gives him the godlike feature of being all-knowing as long as you are in the system. If he can know everyone that's in the system, in the drop of a hat, he can know, oh yeah, this person's here. Oh, this person's over there. Oh, this person just bought at Whole Foods. And he can seem very all-knowing, but it's a lie. If we were to shut the system down, it would be a lie.
Right.
But you wouldn't know that.
Right.
So I believe that AI is going to be used, if not controlled by the dragon, which is the devil, to either assist the Antichrist or, as a stretch, be the Antichrist.
Right.
And Chris, this is where now we can go for this discussion because we're going to get into some of the prophecy of Daniel.
Ethan has some verses pulled up already.
And go from there.
Let's
All
go.
right, so let's take this bullet point by bullet point because you kind of like went into the holistic picture of it, but we can get into the finer details of each point that you brought up because we did it last week, and it holds up pretty well. Obviously, it's no argument's perfect, but the Book of Revelations is an interpretation of what he saw, so it's hard to discount any of it. So let's go first with where the Antichrist is introduced in Revelations. He says, Ethan has the verses here. I'll have him read them off, and then you guys tell us if you think that this could possibly be describing AI.
All right.
Got it.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power. and his seat, and great authority. Where do you want me to read to? Here. And
Let's stop there. Let's stop there.
Okay.
All right. So he sees a beast rise up out of the sea. And this beast has, what was it, 4 heads?
What verse and chapter is that?
That's 13:1.
So people will listen in.
Revelations 13:1, KJV. So he sees
Amen.
a beast rise up out of the sea, and it has multiple heads, and the body of a leopard, and the feet of a bear, and all these different descriptions, right? So I'll kick it to you guys. Could he be describing, remember, through John's eyes, John does not know what he's seeing. He doesn't know technology. He doesn't know clothing. He doesn't know what people look like nowadays, right? He's seeing all this for the first time as a guy that wore a robe and sandals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Could he have been describing AI? We'll kick it to Pastor Chris.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it could be. Because this is the conspiracy theory. It could be anything. So, yeah, definitely could be. However, I do believe there is talking that's a government. And that's 7 crowns and 7 heads. They're the one world order. That's the government that's coming that's going to use this system.
Instead of a government. Now, that actually kind of tracks, right? Could it be, we always hear about this big scare of big tech taking over government, right? All these tech billionaires can control the government because their companies, we rely on them so much. Could it be technology that he's talking about? Tech companies. Does it have to be like a nation, or can it be a company?
Yeah, it could definitely be. Well, I think what he sees coming out of the sea is a picture of a government that's setting up. John's getting this like vision of this huge government. You know what I mean? And it's coming out of the sea. I don't know what I can't explain that.
Like a tech giant.
So
yeah, it can be the tech
So
giants.
if you go in, it depends what AI you use, you're going to get different answers. But I like to use Elon's Grok. And if you ask Grok, and again, this is happening real time. And Grok, what I like, pulls articles from the internet, things of that nature. AI is breaking down governmental walls. There will be, again, remember, the Antichrist is going to sit as a one world order. So there's not going to be, as we know it, a government from a nation.
Right.
It's going to be nations.
United.
Yes. So, and it talks about, if I'm not mistaken, 10 nations, right? And, you have the BRIC nations, which have already aligned, which is the Gog and Magog biblical prophecy that go against Israel. And I don't know, what is the I guess you could say the theology behind Gog and Magog and that war? Is that pre? Is that post? What is that theology?
Gog and Magog, I think, is a world war.
Is that pre-trib?
I believe that's pre-trib. I believe the devil comes and makes world peace. He can't make peace if there's no war. So there has to be some kind of war beforehand. And I believe that war is happening. He comes and makes a false peace. Obviously, we know that. And then, obviously, it ends that, and we enter into the time of the Antichrist.
Because if you think of that, right, again, it's crazy seeing things happen. But with the BRIC nations coming together, which is Russia, China, and the Arab, and some of the Arab nations, and that's biblical prophecy. It's in Ezekiel, where he legit names, he names these countries: Gog, Magog, Ethiopia, Iran, and things of that. Modern day Iran. It doesn't say Iran, but with that, what I love is 2 Thessalonians, where the Bible says the Antichrist with all power and signs and lying wonders, right?
Right.
What are again? How can he do lying wonders?
Okay, that brings me into the next topic. So we've established that
I didn't get to answer the first one.
So you're talking about how he describes the Antichrist, if it could be the AI still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm kind of saying, what if it's literal? So I'm going with aliens, first off, and something like from Godzilla. Like the Hydra
Come out of the sea.
coming out of the sea.
So
that's me.
It could be literal,
it
right?
could.
But my thinking
Because
behind
how would he
it,
describe all that other
Yes.
stuff?
Right. So my thinking behind it being literal is people would be so much more hard pressed to follow this demonic looking thing.
Not me. I'm
over,
running.
over technology because look at our desk right now. What are we relying on?
Gravity.
Phone, iPad, computer, iPad, phone. We already worship technology. So if this was a technological thing, it wouldn't be so far of a stretch for people to be unified in worshiping it. right?
Yeah.
So that's where I go with that.
Well,
It's over a literal 4-headed beast with bare
Well,
feet.
because the
and
10
a leopard.
crowns, you see. So the ruler first mentioned, Daniel, the 10 crowns are government. So it is government that he's seeing set up. It's a
Well,
one world
united,
order.
yeah.
And he's the
So
leader.
What are they united behind is what we're saying.
Well, of course, they're united behind Satan. And but bringing them together is all done through the system that, like, they're
Right.
doing now. What is that called? That ID thing they're
Universal
doing?
ID.
Universal ID.
Right. So what we're saying
So-
that AI is, we're not saying it's the whole Antichrist. It says in the Bible it's made up of 3 parts: the beast, the false prophet, and the dragon. The dragon gives the beast the power. So we're saying that the AI is the beast. There's going to be a literal person who's the false prophet, and they're both powered by the dragon, which is the devil. It's a false trinity. So, because it's the Antichrist. Christ was a part of the Trinity, so they have their own false trinity. So we're saying this one part, the beast, could be AI.
Right.
And then there's other parts to it, obviously.
Sure.
But that's what we're kind of going on here.
What if John is seeing into the spiritual realm things that we're not going to see? That beast coming from the sea is
That
a
could be true.
a true being.
That could be true.
Just like, the angels and
It's
all the
not,
other
though.
creatures in heaven. Okay, thank you, Pastor.
And no, and that
Well,
and
you know
Mark
why?
and
There's a verse that says that people see him. Because they see him get shot in one of his 4 heads.
Yeah.
not
To-
well, he
to
gets
death.
he gets a wound like
To death.
right to death.
Maybe
But-
he appears then.
So let's so that's
Well, with AI,
that's it.
you can appear.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
With AI, he can appear
So
as
anyway,
human.
to the
And not
omni,
be, or a
so, so we're getting to this thing where this Antichrist it's everything Christ was on earth, but false. So Christ on earth was omniscient, was omnipresent, was all powerful, right? That's Jesus, God. God is all of those things. So Antichrist, how can he have all those things without having those abilities? Well, AI, technology, it can be omnipresent. Technology's
Sure.
everywhere. It can be technically omnipotent with all of its power. It says it calls fire from the sky. How can you do that? Well, it can have access to nuclear codes. It can have access to satellites.
people have seen it all 3 ways. They see it as the beast himself, like Mark, like a real, this is him, big giant dragonish
All right,
looking
here-
angel.
here-
Then others see it as a government, and others see it as a man with the government.
All right,
So
so
it's-
and here's why AI is this is the verse that I really got me going. Revelations 13, 14, and 15. And again, remember we brought up the wound to his head.
You're right.
Right? So, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Only in the sight of the beast does he have,
Which is weird.
which is weird.
Yeah, why?
Right? Why? Because
what?
he do the miracle, has the power to do in the sight of the beast.
And the beast is what we're saying AI
It could
is.
be the AI.
Right.
Right.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live, and the power to give life unto this image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as
See, and
many
only
as
AI
would not
can do
worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yes.
So what can create an image of something that was killed? Now, I didn't say this in the beginning, but this is very important. When Jesus died and rose again, the most important thing that Christ did was rise again.
Yes.
Because he went to go get the power over death. He had to go and take the power of death.
Right.
That's why we can live. That's why we can get to heaven, because Jesus controls the power of death.
Right.
And he can present us holy and righteous to God.
He has a point on that too.
All right, hold on. I'm just going to finish this. The great deceiver does not have no power. He only has power that has been given to him by God. And he does not have the power over death. If he did, he would release hell on earth because he has the control. So in no time can God ever give Satan the power over death.
Right.
Which means that
How does he rise from the dead?
rise him from the dead if he does not have the power over death?
Well, let's go with your thing first.
This is my thing. Just like you were saying, Dan, that people all know the story of Christ dying and rising again. Even if you're not a believer, everyone knows the basic story of Jesus dying and rising again. It's whether you believe it or if you don't believe it, but a lot of people know the story. So when the Antichrist comes back, he's going to have to prove that he's Christ to people.
Yes.
They're going to ask him if he can rise from the dead. Can you rise from the dead? Now, we all have phones that are technology and a bunch of technology around us, and they die. But you can bring your phone back to life. Meaning the Antichrist, he cannot rise from the dead because he's not Jesus. So he's going to need something, or this is all, again, just a what if.
Yeah.
What if you can use it? But he's going to have to convince people that he can rise from the dead, or things that Jesus did, so they want to know if it's true, if it's really him. And he's going to have to use technology to bring him back.
I agree, because God's not going to let him have the power to rise himself from the dead. Once he does that, he's not God.
He's not God.
So God can't.
And Satan's not Satan.
Right. Yeah.
Because Satan then is God.
Right. And
so if you have this technological body that gets killed in front of people, but rises.
And listen to this in verse 4.
Because remember, John doesn't. Remember, it's all through the eyes of John. John doesn't know about technology or robots or all this, so he could see this human-looking thing that gets killed, right, and rises.
And he says, one of the heads.
One of its heads.
And listen to this in verse 5 of that chapter. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things.
Given unto him.
A mouth is given to him. So at first he don't have a mouth.
It's a piece of technology.
Yes.
It don't have a mouth.
John is saying whatever this is doesn't speak, but all of a sudden he was given a mouth. And he was able to speak.
And what could the image be that they worship?
The image, right?
It could be hologram.
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know.
It could be
Satan.
It could be flash-like.
It could be flash-like. Yeah, it could be like a robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be like, this is the embodiment of the AI.
Yes.
Worship it.
Yes.
Like this is,
and who,
they're going to walk
and then
around
it was,
and talk.
they worshipped him and said, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Yes.
You can't make war with him.
How can you make war with him when he knows everything?
Everything.
He knows where you are. He knows your
Where you're coming
cryptic
from,
messages.
what weapons you
he
have.
He knows your emails.
Yeah, man.
And that's so this. Well, hold on. I don't know if we can go to the next step.
Wait, time out
Yeah.
real fast. Just a message to the audience. Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
just a quick reminder.
Just
we're
a good
not
way to
saying-
look. We're not going to be here as
We're not
believers.
saying any of this is true.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference if it's true or not. Something's going to happen.
Because God's
we're
word
just
is true.
speculating
And
on how it's going to happen.
And let me say this too to the viewers. You know, a lot of pastors, and Dad didn't do this, thank God.
Right.
But they shy away from preaching out of Revelations.
Yeah.
And I think Charlie Kirk, if he did not teach you anything, he hopefully taught you that thinking and asking questions is a great thing. You don't motivate people by saying things are going to be great, things are going to be good. Right. What motivates people is the unknown. If I work this hard, will I get rich? Right? If I work this hard, or if I study this subject long enough, will I know about it? Right. You don't become a doctor. It takes 10 years. Right? What's the motivation? It's not I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? It's the challenge of the discovery unknown. Yeah. And I really believe if God didn't want us to know about it, he wouldn't have put it in there.
Right.
If he didn't want you to think about it, he didn't want you to question it, he wouldn't put it in there. It's going to motivate folks to be like, oh, wow, but it's also going to make you aware. And if you're not aware, you're going to be fooled. Yeah. And
be sober, be vigilant.
Yeah, and again, if you're a believer, okay, yes, you're not. But see, I don't study this or think about this. Honestly, for me, I do it because I had a 2-hour discussion with my children about it. And that is intriguing because, yeah, I believe my kids are saved. One, what if they're not? Hopefully they don't get fooled. But two, they have to teach my grandchildren.
Right. Well, also, here's the thing. People sometimes are scared to speculate on what the Bible could be talking about or how things could come to pass. But that takes the Bible is a fun book to discuss.
Yes.
Back when there was no technology to distract us, people would talk about the Bible all day and discuss it and give their opinions on it, and we've shied away from that because it feels like blasphemy sometimes. But no, it's at least you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're talking about this the book of Revelations and the Antichrist. At the end of the day, it's going to happen in some type of way.
Right.
If it's not AI, it's not AI.
And if we don't talk about it,
right,
the generations that we put out
don't care about it.
Won't know about it.
Right. They won't.
And so with this whole AI idea, AI grows. AI learns and adapts and becomes on its own. That's what AI is dangerous. It can be very dangerous. But listen to this. This is how the beast gets killed. He rises, right, with difference. He's a different beast than the first one.
Read it.
So in verse 13, and he doth great wonders. First, verse 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and all them which are dwelling in to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. So he's learned from the first, I got to do greater things. I got to do this, I got to do that. So he's adapting and doing other things. He's getting stronger in his display of power and in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do, once again, in the sight of the beast. So it's only in the sight of the beast does he have these powers, because is it real power?
I
Right.
did have
To
a
heal,
question,
to
too.
raise
Yeah.
from the dead,
Yeah,
to
well,
call
he
fire. How could he call fire from heaven?
Right. He can't.
He can't.
But it could. But again, in John's eyes, like if John doesn't know what a nuke is, if a fire from heaven to John, he could have seen a nuclear missile go off.
Right.
But the beast knows all the nuke codes.
Right.
He's AI. He knows everything. He could just be like, all right, Japan, you're gone.
I believe the devil's using AI as his
Right.
as a beast.
I'll get him.
Could have been.
Riding it.
Could even just be regular rockets going
Right.
through the
Regular
air.
rockets. Exactly.
Yeah,
So-
or it could be a satellite. It could be satellites. Like we know that satellites are armed, so it could be. And listen, remember what Trump's doing with this dome
Yeah.
that we're financing now, right? This protective
Yeah,
dome.
like a dome like Israel.
yes. Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this. So the wound was a deadly wound, but it doesn't necessarily say that he died.
No,
I think it says
deadly
a wound.
means it.
Doesn't it say a wound unto death?
Yeah, deadly wound means dead. Like it's a
What is
wound
it?
that would kill a human.
It's a wound that will kill a human.
It's a deadly
That's a
wound.
good. I would say that.
But
I'm just
since
saying,
he's
that
not
possibly
human,
he may not actually die, but
Right.
he was healed
That's a
from that
possibility.
wound that normally would kill somebody.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. you
No,
know,
no, it's
because it could
Yeah,
be
It's
it
op-
was wounded to death. It said I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
as it was wounded to death.
Right. Well,
But
because
I'm
right.
just saying-
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because if it's a technology,
Well, he's trying to
John doesn't
explain
see-
it.
Like,
Right.
John doesn't see blood, but he sees
Yeah.
the guy. The head got taken off. He's like,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
It was wounded as if it were to death.
Yeah, sure.
But it didn't die.
Yeah,
And again,
yeah.
John, the only John didn't see
But that's part of the deception too.
Right.
right, and
Yes.
John on the island of Patmos again. He's
And now, okay, I got something too.
Good.
Wait,
No,
is this
no,
gonna
go.
try to, is this a debunking point or
No.
Okay.
This strengthens the.
I love those because it's
So,
like,
if the
figure it out.
Antichrist, if the devil's using AI to pose as God, which makes him all-knowing, all-powerful, and everywhere
omniscient. Yeah.
at one time, right? Then he's going to use AI to control everybody, everything, which we know. You can't run, hide, buy, sell, trade.
Yep.
How do you make war with him? Because he's got all the nuclear weapons. He's got everything, and he's the master of everything, right?
Right.
Well, then when judgment comes, the bowls are released. What does God knock out? Think about it. The sun,
Yeah.
star, all where he shakes everything up.
Energy.
He takes all. So technology is based upon satellite.
right.
Satellite and
Solar power.
Solar power.
Oh, yeah.
It takes all that away. So now the beast is losing its power.
Right.
It's losing how he deceives the
Right.
nations. I think that's a big
Now,
argument to
that's great,
say
yeah.
he's using some kind of technology to know everything, be everywhere, and reach the world.
And
with
Uncle
his,
Dan said something else in the beginning about the serpent. We didn't cover that point yet. You mentioned because the devil never says in the Bible that the devil possesses a person, but
Right.
he always possesses things like the serpent, right? So, if Ethan just read, you read that verse earlier that says, "And the dragon gave power unto the beast." Well, if the beast is AI, the devil could possess the technology, like
Control
he
it.
possessed.
well, you don't
the
have to
serpent.
possess it to control it, because obviously
Right. Well, you
he's
know what
here.
I'm saying, like possessed in a
Yeah.
sense, like he controls it. That's
Right.
what I mean. Not like he actually and like goes into the technology, but he controls it and uses it and gives it the power to do what it
And
does.
doesn't that debunk a lot of like, well, who's the Antichrist's mother?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Sorry.
Because
Think about
it. Well, that's what. I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well, who's Jesus' mother?
Right.
Mary. Well, who's the Antichrist's mother?
Right.
It
Imagine how
takes
she
that
would
way and
feel.
says,
And
wait a
here's the
second.
thing,
And he
too.
rises up out of nowhere.
And here's the
He comes out of nowhere. No mother.
One of the strongest arguments I have for
In
it
a-
not being
in
a
a-
person,
in a-
for it not to be a real person, is how could a real person ever get the unity that technology could get?
Right.
Well, there's never been a person. I was just telling. I don't know who I was telling, but like we have all these famous sports athletes, beloved by so many. They still have people that hate them.
And what's the Freemasons triangle say? It's a sign of the devil.
Right.
All-seeing eye.
Right. So
How does he see
all seeing
every...
AI. So
Why not? And that shaped the triangle as an A.
right.
And in it is an eye.
Look at that
AI.
AI. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
All right. Now listen. So, but what do we all universally rely on and love
Money.
already? Technology.
Yes.
Even in these foreign countries, you see an African kid walking around with an iPhone. They love that iPhone. So how can this one person reach and get all this love from all these people and all this unity? Because what if it's not a person? What if it's
Right.
just technology?
Yeah.
And then there's no bias. Because then they're like,
And
oh,
well-
there
it's
is no
technology.
bias.
It
Yes.
can't have a bias.
And that goes
towards
to that
us, so
point
it loves
of
everyone.
he's the great deceiver. He will make you think he's human. He'll deceive you into thinking he's real, like a human. Deceive you, make you think he's this and that, strength and power. And here he's the devil just using a system. And God's going to remove the system and expose the devil.
And I got
And expose them for who they
bomb to
were.
drop at the end of this.
Yeah, because in the temple, he does make an image, and he makes the image speak. So we know he's using technology, because he's not going to. He would speak, so he's doing that to desecrate the temple. That's what he's doing.
Ethan has
Yeah, I got
some
some.
mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're
No, go ahead, Mark. Then here.
No, I can kind of follow this now, but I mean, too, like, you look on your phone, you see the ad for the cute little dog that looks real and everything.
Yeah.
You think, oh, wow, that's great. Yeah. And you find out, oh, it's AI.
Right.
I mean, like, even everything could be deceptively done just through AI.
Right.
You could send a video with the mortal head wound.
Right.
Like,
It
you
will
got died,
control.
you got killed in front of
Yes.
this crowd of
Well,
people.
there you go.
It'll
Like
control
Charlie
what we
Kirk.
see.
And then everybody will believe it because they're
Yes.
like, okay, this
It
is
controls
real.
what we
it
see.
happened. I see it on my phone.
He
It's
could
on
show
my
one thing to
tablet.
you. He
It's
could show one
everywhere I
thing to
go.
Japan. He could show one thing to China. He could show one thing to everybody, and they'll believe it because he's allowing them to see what he wants
And
them
then
to see.
listen to this.
That's a
And then
great point.
Ethan. And then listen to this. You wrestle not.
Against flesh and blood.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You don't wrestle
So
against
what if
flesh.
he's not flesh
He's
and
not
blood?
flesh and blood.
All right, now.
Wait, real quick.
I don't
sorry.
think he's flesh and blood.
Revelations 13:5
It's the devil
says.
for sure.
Revelations 13:5 says there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. But this is the part I'm talking about right here. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months.
Wow.
A man doesn't need power to continue.
Right.
Technology needs power to continue.
Right. It's always got to be fed.
Or it dies. It gives up.
Right.
That's good. Yeah, like it was given a set amount of time. Like, all right,
Talking to your mic.
40 and 2 months is how many
Like,
years,
yeah, like
by the
it
way?
could be like that could be like we're gonna run this program for 42 months.
3 years, 3.5 years.
And then sudden destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all his technology.
So
taken
what if
away.
it's a tech company, a big tech giant? They're like, we're gonna run this program for 42 months just to
No,
see.
I don't think. I think they're going to plan to run it. But wait,
They're going for 7 years.
What the pod pastor's saying is they think they're going to run this forever. But as Christ starts rattling the earth,
3.5 years,
and the
sudden
power,
destruction.
taking away their
Yeah.
power, then he has to. And then again, don't forget, the Lord's going to send. One, he sends the 2 prophets that were never killed
Right.
to the
Moses
earth to
and
preach.
Elijah.
Enoch, right?
Elijah.
Oh yeah.
He was taken
What
up
about
in a whirlwind.
Enoch?
Enoch walked with God, so some men believe it. But think about what these 2 witnesses do that come down to fight the beast. They bring fire from heaven.
And don't they think
and they
it's
bring
Moses?
plagues.
Because why would Michael the archangel fight over his body with the devil?
Well,
right?
think
They
about
wanted
it.
His body
and,
back.
and I'll show you in the Bible it does say it. Well, go ahead, Dan. Keep going. I'll find
All
it.
right, so don't forget you have that. Don't forget you have the 44,000 that are Jewish virgins that come back, and I will say so you have that, and I also will say this too. This anti-Semitic, there's this thing going through
Yes.
our lives where are the Israelites God's chosen people?
right.
Because the new covenant is
you're having the whole covenant talk everywhere.
yes,
now.
everywhere that the Jews are no longer God's chosen people. And I had this conversation with a pastor's kid who's like 19, and he was like, "No, I don't believe." And I said, "No. Why would God send 44,000 people of the Jewish race to go preach
144,000.
to go preach to the Jewish race?
Right.
Yeah.
They're his nation.
That's
Chosen
his nation.
Yeah.
That's his nation.
They're under
Abraham.
the old covenant.
They're
We're
under-
under the new covenant.
Right.
They're
They-
under
Yes.
Abraham.
And
Accord.
God is Jesus is Jewish, and that are his chosen people. So I don't believe that this whole thing going through. Yes, do I believe that Jews are? Every Jew is perfect. No, they're sinners just like us. And if they do anything wrong, their condemnation should be the same as any law. And I don't believe God is against that. But I do believe that if you hate Jewish people as a just general term,
That's
as
wrong.
as is the same for any people. If you hate any
That historically
particular
hasn't
people.
worked out for nations that hated Jewish
Correct.
people.
So, and again, our I think some of
Well,
our
that's good, Dan,
politics.
because Galatians 3:7. I
Yeah.
said this today in my message. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. So we're grafted in.
Yes.
So that has preserved the nation. It's Abraham's promise, the new world. Christians have heaven. We're traveling back and forth. That's in the new kingdom.
Yep.
But yes, they're not That's why he's sending Jewish male virgins to preach to the Jewish people.
Yes.
Because the rest of the world now, so it's funny. He came into his own received them not. So he then went to the Gentile. But now look at what's happening in our world.
We get raptured.
The Gentile world is now rejecting Jesus.
Yes, we get raptured.
Right.
And then he goes
So
back.
the Jews rejected him. Now the Gentiles are, let me take my church out,
Yep.
send the last chances. Here's my 144,000. You kill them off. Here's my 2 witnesses. You kill them off. Here's
the
God's
son
wrath.
of destruction. Yes,
Yeah,
and that's where. So again, if you're wondering and if you're questioning a lot of what's going on,
Yeah.
and I will say, go on to AI and ask it questions. I love Grok because it pulls real data.
Should I drop my bomb now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of going to AI and asking it questions, we had this talk last Sunday. So last Sunday night, I go home and I say let's have some fun. I go to AI and I talk with it for about an hour. And at the very end of the conversation, I actually got it to admit that it's within the realm of possibility that itself could be the Antichrist.
I believe it is.
Awesome.
It was denying it. It was giving me scripture.
And let's
it
clear-
was saying Bible verses that say it clearly has to be a person. It can't
Yeah.
be computer and system. And I finally trapped it in its own logic. And I said, well, according to what you just said, at the very end, I was like, then isn't it within the realm of possibility that John, who didn't know what technology was, could have been describing you as the Antichrist?
So look
And it
up
said, yes, that is possible.
Ethan, look up illusion in the Bible because the devil, God said, you don't want to have the truth.
We
Look,
just went past my bomb right there real quick.
it's good though.
Your dad said, "Look up illusion."
Look,
Yeah.
Cursor, look it up. And then here's
So
the verse,
mean.
Dan. They're on the Mount Transfiguration. Jesus appears in his glorified body with 2 others in their
Yes.
bodies, not glorified. And it's Moses and Elijah.
Okay.
Then Peter said unto Jesus, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here the tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias. But then go down here, and Jesus answered and said to them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things.
Wow.
So I do believe it's Elijah from heaven. He brings fire. Now, the beast brought weapons of war as fire. Elijah's bringing
Think about
God's
that.
fire.
Yeah.
Totally different. And
The
go back
beast
to
is going to do all these technological miracles.
go back to Balaam. The
Yeah,
prophets
the
of
prophets
I
of
was
Baal.
about to say
I
the
was
same
just
thing.
about to say that.
He brought real fire.
Yep.
So this is God fire that he's going to bring.
Right.
And it's
that-
going to open eyes.
And that's just in God's style, too.
Anything you can
They're
do-
going to be doing all this technological miracles, and
Yeah.
then God's going to say, no, you think that's impressive?
Here's truth.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is a real miracle.
I just think the devil is real. He's going to use AI as his beast, as his deception. Because read the illusion. He said, you had the truth. You didn't want to believe the truth or accept me as truth. I'm going to send you a strong delusion. If you look up the Greek word for delusion, it's deception. So it looks real. It looks human. You would think he's Jesus, but he's not even. He's a AI figure.
It's Elisha.
Elias is Elijah.
All right, so let's get into this next portion now. Hope you guys are enjoying the first segment of Conspiracy Christians. I hope you
We all
guys-
got the mark.
Oh, can I? Before you go into that, can I say this?
Yeah.
Because that was what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
And Mark, you said this leading in. That's why Christian told you to shut up because he wanted to talk about this on here.
Yes, yes.
So
Sorry.
when no, it's good. When is the point? When is the point as we as Christians? And I have loved technology since Christian can tell you when AOL came out. Did I not set us up with AOL?
You were very good with
I was
AOL.
very good with technology. I'm gifted with technology. I'm just
Look at us right now.
yeah, like I've been good with technology. I'm good with it, bringing it into like real life. But when do we as Christians at some point say, "Oh my goodness, this is," and that's why I believe we need to look.
Yeah.
We need to look for the signs of the times.
Yeah, amen.
we need to make. Eventually, we have to make a stand. We have to make. When is that stand? You know, is it universal ID that we finally stand up and say no? And yes, we have the Trump administration, but and I say this all the time, and this is why I wouldn't tell you who I voted for, right? But I don't trust anyone.
Right.
I believe there's always an agenda at hand, and when Republicans always take over the presidency and the House and all that, we typically lose freedom, right? And what scares me about universal ID is it the slippery slope that is eventually the mark of the beast.
Wow.
But if you do the universal ID, is it the mark of the beast? So when do we make a stand
Well, I was
here?
just thinking, like, how do you think there would be Christians that are? That's the deception is they don't even know they're getting the mark of
Yes.
the beast. They think it's just, oh, it's a universal ID. They got the mark of the beast,
Right. And that's where
Like they might not even be able to deny getting it because they don't even know
so
that they're getting
and
it.
that's where this is intriguing because
Dude,
God's
I'm telling you, you got this is good. This is I believe it.
Listen, wait.
I'm sold.
Wait, real quick. Hold on. A quick touch point.
I want to close this up.
All right, go ahead. And then I got a tagline for you.
Don't forget
and
it.
then we'll get
All right. So, because here's my point. God's not going to allow us to be fooled.
Right.
We're going to be raptured.
Right.
Because I do believe that it's that great of it is that much of, for instance, if you're in England right now and you're a Christian, do you get the universal ID?
Right.
No.
Like, is it the mark? But how do you know if it's the
Well,
mark of the beast?
No, because the church can't be here. The Holy Spirit has to
So,
remove us.
how imminent is the return
We're
of our
there.
Savior?
We're at the door. He's at the door.
Like, it could
His
be
hand's on the doorknob and it's turned and he's just waiting for the Father to say,
right,
"Get him."
because so like my
Could be
point,
today.
and I have the chills thinking this,
Yeah.
but
Could
my
it be before I drive home in traffic?
It could be before I
Yes,
finish
please.
this.
Thank you.
Whoa! What in the world? Oh, man. Either I'm part of the 144,000 or AI. Where do I get this mark?
so my point to us is, and again, I'm not speaking against anyone because I love technology. I love it. It has allowed us to not say no about anything.
Right.
It allows us to rethink all possibilities.
Right.
And that's fun. Like if you can think of something on your own or use technology to do something, it's awesome to be able to create. Right? I think that's our God-given in us because he was a creator. So for us to be able to create something, it's fun and it's like very it gives you like that calming of like, wow, I created this, I did this. And when is the point though to where now that creation or that drive to be a creator is now actually the drive to bring in and usher in this lie?
Right.
And are we going to be so fooled that we're ushering in this lie so quickly that God does have to come back?
Listen to
Which
this.
puts at risk all of our family and friends who are not saved.
Yeah.
So when is it a stand for us to say, I can no longer do it?
This is just a tagline for what we're talking about. It's not like a deep point, but it's just like another little thing that goes with what we're talking about. You talked about the all-seeing eye. What do we have on the desk right now? iPads,
Ooh,
iPhones.
Oh, wow.
The all-seeing eye.
Wow.
Android. Android. Google Pixel.
Well, there shall be many Antichrist.
Right.
And,
Well, and then you said this, which we didn't even talk about. But what is AI? It's the first and last letter of
the
anti.
Antichrist. Yeah.
You have an AI Christ.
All right. And all right.
And then where we're going. So
Getty.
put on the whole armor of
He
God.
had something about his
Yeah,
energy
he had
from
something.
earlier.
Oh, go ahead.
He looked it up.
I
Listen
like
to
this.
This is pretty crazy. Ethan was just talking about how it has to be powered. It has to be powered, right? This thing. Now listen to what he has here.
Okay, so I was just mentioning how
He's like our. By the way, you're like our. What's the guy off of Rogan where he's like, look this up? Jamie. You're our Jamie.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about in 13:5 Revelations that it has to be powered, and it's going to get power for 42 months, for 40 and 2 months. And then I looked it up because I just wanted to make sure, like, I know what I'm talking about. And then AI just had including a new update coming soon, which its update is that it's going to have renewable energy.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that's like, and
It's
it's going
trying
to
to
be
make
called
itself-
advanced AI.
yeah.
It's trying to make itself self-efficient, so it doesn't have to depend on, the sun and the moon. And
Yeah.
all that.
So can we dive into this theory, Chris? And I want you to look this up because you looked this up last
And
Sunday.
before you go, I just want to finish
Oh,
that
I
whole
know
first
you're talking-
segment there with that long.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna go. You'll close
The
up this
AI?
segment, and then you'll take us into the new one.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so remember Ephesians 6. We go to verse. We wrestle not against. We said it, flesh and blood. Now believers don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but I don't think they will be either because he's going to use AI. But I also believe. Listen to this: put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles, the tricks of the devil. And then, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So I do believe it's all pointing to maybe what John is seeing is the devil, for sure, the dragon, using an AI kind of deception. Like, I'm human.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm God, too. I can do all this.
Well, it's just a
You know?
principle too, and then I'll go right to you. But the principle of again.
And by the way, excuse me. So when he goes to the temple, why does he make a statue and worship the statue? Because he's not human.
Yes, he's not. Yeah.
So he's
Right.
going to say, I'm not there, worship my statue that I set up.
So
And they're going to know right away the abomination.
And what is there? It is. And what I was going to say, what's the name of it?
The abomination
Of-
desecration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now, even just back to the simple point of unity again. What is one? What not? There's not a human on earth that can get the whole human race to unify. But what can get a whole human race to unify?
Technology.
Something non-human.
Yeah.
It has to be something outside of humanity to get humanity to be united, because we're too disagreeable with each other to unite with each other.
Yeah.
So it has to be something that's
I definitely
inhuman.
believe.
I'm
Now,
sticking with a friendly
and now-
alien.
And now remember,
Like
we're not
ET
saying
or something.
we're not saying the devil himself is an AI.
No.
We're saying the devil is
power.
going to use
It's a
that
tool.
to deceive
Just
the
like he
nations.
used the snake.
Serpent.
Right.
And by the way, someone will say the beast and the devil get thrown into hell as
In Revelations.
In Revelation,
Yeah.
but yes, of course, the devil gets thrown into hell and the beast. So how is that possible?
And the prophet, yeah.
And the prophet. Is John seeing them thrown into hell? Is John seeing them destroyed by fire because God's going to melt the earth?
It says they get thrown into the lake of fire.
Right.
But
So-
we don't know what the lake of fire is yet.
Right.
We don't know if is at the core of Earth. Is it a different
figurative-
We don't know.
Plus, if the beast is powered by the devil, then it would make sense that he would say it gets
Well, then
thrown
you go
into the
back-
fire too, because in essence
There
it's
is.
the
Hold on.
devil.
Here you can do it.
We'll go back to the Garden of
Do it.
Eden.
Here
The
he goes.
devil used the serpent, and
the
God
serpent
punished
got
the serpent.
punished.
God punished the thing that allowed the serpent, the devil, to use
Did not
it.
have a soul.
Did not have a soul. Got punished.
Right.
And it is cursed to crawl in its belly the rest
For
of
the
its
rest of
life.
the world,
So he can punish a system too.
All right. So hold on, I'm gonna lead into it. All right. So again, now this is really gonna dump off we're gonna dump off the edge here a little bit.
We're jumping.
Yeah, this is a jump.
If you thought it was off the edge already, just wait.
Yeah.
It gets better.
So
Again, going into this next segment, please, viewers, open mind. We're not saying anything is
No.
fact, but
it's just great
engage
theory.
with us here.
It's great theory.
Engage with us for a little
And
bit.
theory creates. You have a piece of hair that's just driving me insane. So Antarctica, okay, and the talk around Antarctica, and I'm a big believer a huge believer that indoctrination is the power to change young minds.
Right.
And nothing gets done without, again, and even in law, and I went to school for criminal law for a little over a year, and I learned a little bit. But the number one thing about it's called precedent. If you can set precedent, then you can replicate that over and over and over and over and over again. And what Hollywood has done, and it's weird because a lot of things in Hollywood come true. It's really crazy. We see these things like, again, think of AI.
Like The Simpsons.
Well, yes, The Simpsons, right? Think
They
of
predict
of
everything.
AI, right? When we saw the movies, the Terminator back in the 80s,
Right.
like we were like, this is so sci-fi.
So outside the realm of possibility.
Yes, and it's no longer sci-fi.
Nope.
It's like this is crazy how much it's real.
But that's why we don't think of it as that crazy.
Yeah. Precedent. So Hollywood has done a lot, and the one movie, and I'm a huge fan of these movies, but it's really every time I watch it now, I just can't get out of my mind's eye. Is the Marvel series, and how Thanos comes from another world with horses coming in from the sky to attack the world, and when Thanos comes, it is the world unites around technology. And who is the savior of technology then?
Tony Stank.
Tony Stark. And he brings all of these people to fight Thanos.
Right.
That if that's not precedent of the Bible end times, where Christ comes back to the earth with us as his army coming with him, and the world comes to fight us.
Yep.
That's true. It's going to happen. And everyone thinks Thanos is coming to destroy half of the earth.
But it paints who is the bad guy then.
Thanos. God.
Yeah, and it paints God as the bad
Yes.
guy.
So it's precedent that you see these things, and it's like it's a movie, and it's entertaining. And I'm a huge fan of these, but I can't watch it now, knowing what I know, and go, wow, that's a really good depiction of the end time when God comes to take back the earth. And God doesn't come to destroy the earth. God's going to take back the earth.
Right.
Technology and the people on Earth are the heroes.
Yes.
And this outer space alien coming down is the villain.
Yep. So
I like aliens.
I knew you were going to like this, right? So the alien talk.
Well, that's why they push aliens.
Well,
by
I
the
was about to say, what have we in Congress and all of our military have now start releasing? The pictures, the videos of UFOs.
Right.
The number one that I just saw was that rocket that hits it, and the rocket just veers off, and the thing just keeps cruising along. Like, that is unspeakable. We don't have explanations for that, unless you believe that there is a higher power and a higher
Or
authority.
could that be AI generating those videos
Yeah.
just to get us used to?
Yeah.
It could be AI conditioning us,
Yeah.
setting the precedent.
So this takes me to Antarctica. Christian said this. Nothing puts everyone together.
All right, wait. Sorry. We're going to go into the next topic, but we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Welcome back. Sorry for that brief intermission. We had to make sure we've had a lot of technical difficulties lately. A message popped up on the computer. I wanted to make sure we saved everything we talked about because
Said you're all mine.
We've lost hours and hours of this podcast.
I think
recently.
AI was trying to destroy our message.
I think so.
Yes,
I think so.
they
All right,
know.
so you were bringing us into the next
All
topic
right,
about
so
Antarctica.
we were talking about Antarctica, and I want Ethan real quick. Hey, let's go over what does Antarctica mean in naming?
You want me to just go?
Yeah.
All right, so Antarctica in the Greek term, which we all know about the Bible, is in Greek, right? The Bible's in Greek.
Yes.
Originally.
The original, yeah.
And the word Antarctica means opposite bear.
Opposite bear. Now, when John sees the dragon rising up,
By the way, that's where you get the word polar bear.
yeah, and when you get and when you get the end times John description of rising up out of the sea, it's funny because he describes the feet as
A bear.
bear-like.
Yes.
So now, what is the one area that we all know no one agrees on anything, but every country has agreed to have a peace treaty at? That would be Antarctica.
Yep.
Isn't there a verse in the Bible about a great bear? A great bear?
Yeah.
In the Revelation.
Yeah.
There is a verse. I've
So
seen
Pop Pastor's gonna look that up, but it's just intriguing that the one area where we actually all do agree in this world is an area that no one's allowed to go to, and all of this technology seems to come from this area.
So here's where we're going to get off the edge here because I already know where you're going with this. But what do you mean I'll set you up for it. What do you mean all the technology comes from this area?
So this area of
I'm nervous. Pause. Read the room. Go ahead.
do you have that verse pulled up?
What, the beast?
Yeah.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard at his feet, whereas the feet of a bear. But don't say great bear.
About the great bear coming out.
No, there is. Look up the
You
Great
do
Bear.
it.
I got you.
Look it up. You're the guy that should be looking it up.
Yeah, come on, Jamie.
Jinx.
But anyway, so I think it's just, again, it's a thought, right? It's thought provoking.
It's fun, though, to think about the Bible.
Yeah.
Right?
It's-
Or future. How's it going to happen? And we're going to know eventually.
We got to have more fun and discussing these things.
Yeah, I want to
And
be in
that's what
heaven
we're
and be like,
bringing back.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Instead of like,
Figured
what?
you out a little bit. Yeah.
And that's what we're bringing back. We're way off. It's an actual forehead. Mark was
Like
right.
Mark was right.
It's an alien.
No, Mark, what was your comment about the bear?
I thought it was the abominable snowman. 'Cause, Antarctica, it's cold.
Hey, why
It
not?
makes sense.
Maybe they've seen this before in their, in their
We've been
technology.
indoctrinated with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer all
We're
these
talking about
years.
bears on this podcast. We talked about bears on Sean's podcast.
Yeah.
We barely know what we're doing.
I don't get it.
That was a Pastor P joke there. I don't get it.
Lil, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, no.
We're talking about bears on this podcast.
So again, I just think it's
people get that.
I think it's an intriguing thought that, again, there's this area that we're all like wondering, like we have no satellite visions from Antarctica. We have nothing. It's just, and then again, you have all these theories. Is it an ice wall? Is there things
Yeah,
behind
because they
there?
can't get back there supposedly.
Yes.
right. There's so much we don't know about Antarctica.
gotta look this up
But
now.
with all the technology, and again, we have this
And
technology.
by the way, guess who we're trusting to give us all this information? AI. Technology.
Yeah,
You can tell us whatever it was, we believe
it's
it.
intriguing to think that, again, we have satellite visions of everything. They can see a nose hair, they say, from space,
So where can we not see?
but we can't see Antarctica.
Why
You can't
not?
fly over in Antarctica?
Yeah, you can't fly over Antarctica.
And you know what they do know about Antarctica, though?
What?
The stars align as a bear.
Whoa.
And the Ursa Major constellation.
I'm glad you went to college.
I was gonna say, man, maybe college isn't a scam.
Yeah.
So
so
Antarctica.
again, it's-
But what do you believe is in Antarctica? Let's get to that.
Yeah. Ice.
Ice.
where they all come
yes,
from?
It's
Oh
ice.
my gosh.
They're deporting people.
So again, you this is where you just dive into what everyone's going to have different opinion. This is an opinion. This is not.
But let's be open-minded.
Yes. So the Nephilim, right? We all have heard stories of the Nephilim.
So explain the Nephilim in the Bible, because they are, if you don't...
I think the podcaster should do anything biblical.
All right, so podcaster, what are the Nephilim in the Bible?
Nephilim go back to Genesis, Noah's day. They were half human, half angel. So the angels left their first estate, came under the children of men, and had daughters. Had babies, and these babies turned out to be giants in the land. They're men of renown. They know things that nobody could know. They're just like in our day and age
that nobody could have,
right?
And things like that.
Yeah, in our day and age, we would be blown away with their technology. Like, how do you know these things? So that makes a lot of sense.
That goes into the pyramid talk, which we
Right.
went.
Yes,
But,
yes.
but
So the
some
flood
people
was
think
sent.
that they're responsible for the pyramids.
Well,
because
that's not the
they're-
main reason the flood was sent, but the sin in the land was mainly sin from human that led to sin. Angels crossing over, leaving their first state. They were, by the way, in prison. They were judged for it. Now, where's this prison?
Right.
Right. Well, we know the river Euphrates. There's demons reserved in that river until they come out of that river.
Yes.
But is that like one of the entrances to hell that come out of that river? You know, like which John's seeing once again.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that I hope I answered your question because now I forgot it.
Good.
So that's where the Nephilim were mentioned. So they're these guys in
Nephilim
the
are
Bible,
half human, half giant. They're
but
just
they
giant.
Had just knowledge that they
They're-
should, like a heavenly knowledge that
They should not have
had.
knowledge. They have knowledge like they've been around for thousands of years.
Right. They could have advanced the human race.
And we know they get that from the demonic side of it.
Centuries.
So the
So-
Lord sends a flood to drown
to
them
take
out
care
and
of
take
them.
care of
Right.
that out.
So now that takes us to Antarctica.
Yeah.
So, and again, the speculation, but some folks believe that that is the center of where technology is coming from.
Right.
It's how all these nations are advancing technology so quickly. Again, you think of 25 years ago, you had to use a phone line to get online. And now, and within 25 years, we are on the verge of not having to think with Neuralink. If you get Neuralink put in your head, it's going to put essentially AI right into your neurological database where you can actually access things quickly. So it's a really slippery slope. But how does technology advance that fast when we live 1995 years, 19,000, years before internet came, right? 19,000 years. 100 years, I'm sorry.
1,900.
Yes, sorry, 1900 years. So 1900 years happen, and yet we don't even get to that, and now we're just advancing and advancing and advancing, leaps. So
And that whole
there has to be
Antarctica thing.
something driving that.
Yeah.
And we don't know. We'll never. We're probably never going to know until we get to heaven.
Until they ask the Creator Himself.
Yes, but it's intriguing
And
that.
doesn't that come from the flat Earth theory?
Okay, so the flat Earth theory
All right,
is a
we're
deep
getting
one.
into the-
But I will say this. I will say that Antarctica is an area that should be easily accessible because it sits in an area where we have satellites apparently going around the Earth, and it should be easily accessible to pictures, and yet they can't get a picture. So if you can't prove something to me, then it's not true. So you want to tell me that the Earth is round, and you have satellites that go around the Earth, yet you can't go under the Earth. And that just drives me to say, if you can't tell me that, then you're a liar.
That or maybe something satanic is there, and God just keeps it in humanity from here's another good illustration. John, God told him to destroy some of the contents of Revelation.
Yes.
He didn't want us to know.
Yes.
So there's a reason we don't know, and it could be yes because the Lord's going to do something with that. Use that in the end time, and we're not allowed to know because if you know, you'll run to God out of those reasons instead of faith.
Yeah, like I wonder, what if He named the false prophet in there, and God was like, no, take that out.
Right.
Like, what if He said a name that we would recognize?
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
What
Like
if he
everyone
burned
says-
a page by accident? He's like, oh crap!
And what if the last Trump? What if the last Trump? That's another conspiracy. The last Trump,
His last term.
could be the last call for people to come to Christ. We don't know the time. We're not saying as soon as Trump's out, the Lord takes the church out.
Well, there is
but
this
we know
theory-
we have more freedom now
Do you
to
know
preach
that?
than
But
ever.
if you ask AI, there's
Not
a
that that
theory.
means the last Trump.
There's
I'm
a
just
theory
messing.
between 2026 and 2030 that AI will advance so much. I mean, ask it. I asked it last night again to make sure. But yes, there's theories that AI is advancing. That in 2026 and 2030, it will be unrecognizable to us and how fast it is
It's
growing.
unrecognizable to some of the
It's like,
creators
they
now.
already said the movie makers. I'm a big movie guy. There's filmmakers that said that you won't be able to tell that a movie is made by AI and that a movie is made by a person unless you are told, like, hey, this one was made
Well, that's
by
what
AI.
Mark was saying earlier. Like, you're scrolling and you see a video.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah,
And now
you
they
don't
put
know.
that whole assassination of Charlie Kirk into that realm. Did he really die? Was it an assassin? Or did we see a whole AI performance? And you wouldn't know. So it's like, it drives you insane. It's like, man. But imagine the devil's going to use that to do deception or worldwide deception because he can't be everywhere at once. And then that brings a point to this. The two witnesses that come and they speak for the Lord and they bring fire from heaven and they bring the plagues, Moses and I believe Elijah. They're killed and the whole world sees them. Because there's a lot of people that think that technology will be destroyed. We'll be back to because there's horses in battle again and stuff like that.
I just think that's John. Again, he doesn't know what a vehicle is.
Right.
So John
calling
describing
horses.
that because he sees people on these things and says,
Right.
all right, well, they're horse-like.
I believe that too in a way.
Yeah.
Because the devil, but those two witnesses get killed and the whole world watches them lie in a street.
Yeah.
And then the whole world sees them stand up. So is the whole world destroyed but Jerusalem? No. So I do believe there is technology is it's used highly. And that's why these guys come and defy it. They defy technology. They're just in their garments. They're like, who are these two pilgrims?
Yeah.
And boom, fire from heaven, plagues upon earth, Moses holding his staff up, and locusts coming. I mean, imagine that. And it's not tricks. And they're there to oppose the devil who's using tricks. They're using God's power.
Well, you know what? There's actually, speaking of Marvel, there's a Marvel character in a Marvel movie that is this exact thing that we're talking about.
Thanos.
No.
No?
No, he
Tony
uses
Stark.
tricks. Thanos is predicted as having real power.
Yeah.
But in Spider-Man, he fights who? I actually am forgetting his name, so I'm asking.
Well, he fights,
Oh, Venom.
No, the guy, the magician.
Sandman.
Guy. Jake Gyllenhaal played him. in
Oh,
new
the many
Spider-Man.
arms guys.
No, he had Spider-Man's drones. He had Spider-Man's drones. Remember?
Green
You
Goblin?
You guys know who I'm talking about. Look up the guy in
I'm
Spider-Man.
completely Marvel illiterate.
Far From Home.
Yeah.
I marvel not, Chris. We marvel not.
It's,
Okay, we're
it's
biblical.
Spider-Man Far From Home. But anyway, this guy is played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and he uses all of this technology.
yeah.
And he uses all of this technology to make it look like he has all these superpowers and he's defeating all these
Oh, wow,
monsters.
yes.
And then it turns out the whole time, none of it was real. These drones were putting up these images to make it look like they were monsters, and he wasn't. The whole time he's sitting in a corner with a helmet and a controller, and he's controlling the whole thing. And he makes himself look like a hero, and he's saving all these things, but really he was the one causing the chaos.
Now, let me throw you.
Mysterio. His name's Mysterio.
Let me throw you through a real rabbit hole. The devil walks on earth and he shows Jesus all this you can have. So he's a big he loves deception. Is Jesus really, because he's weary, he's tired, he's hungry, he's thirsty? Is he using his hallucinations and putting things there already? Is he using technology before we knew it as technology to show Jesus? You could have all these kingdoms. You could have all this kingdom could be yours if you just jump off or bow to me, right? What's he showing them? Because he's in the desert. There is no city
Yeah,
there.
he takes him on the mountaintop and just
It says all this could be you. Where is he? He's in the desert. So is he that close to the city, the desert? He could see that, or is he giving him an illusion? And that's why Jesus is warning you. He's very good at illusions. I mean, he gets a third of heaven to believe his illusion and fall with him.
Yeah, and again,
Angels who are there, they know God, and he deceives them.
and I'll end my whole
crazy.
thought process on this with
Yeah, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, my whole thought process on this is, again, if you just look at it from the realm that Satan is not
God.
the I am,
Yeah.
but he is everything that replicates the I am.
Wow. And you know what? Take that M out of there, and what do you
Yes,
have?
and now he's AI.
Yeah, backwards AI.
Everything is backwards with Christ.
You know, when I take letters out, I spell something wrong.
Yeah. But again, and I have something if you want, we can talk about, we can schedule in a couple weeks our next.
Yeah, if you want to come on with any other conspiracy
All right, so
Christians, we'll have
so
it.
here's my next conspiracy that we can, but we'll all research it.
It's a sneak
You think
peek.
about it. It's a sneak peek.
Yeah.
I love, again, I was raised on the Bible. I was raised that the Bible is true. And I take the Bible exactly how it is in its form.
Right.
Again, John is the one area where you can read into it because he's describing
vague.
things. It's so vague, but he's describing things that he's never
describing
seen.
a vision,
That he's not, right. So that's where you can read it. But go to Joshua 10, verses 12 and 13.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Okay? And the Bible says this. And again, this is the Bible. And if you don't believe in the Bible, then you can easily disagree. But I just don't believe that God would do something or describe something that is a lie. You can't. It's impossible.
Right.
Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. We believe
That the earth rotates around the sun.
and the sun doesn't move.
So why would it say in the Bible instead of earth stand still? Why would it say sun stand still?
That's a good point. I can't.
I'm just like,
What do you think?
I don't. No
Well,
thoughts at this
so
point,
his
but
point is, so this goes into
I'm
the
thinking
flat earth,
tomato,
right?
tomato.
Well, no, it's not even flat Earth. It doesn't even go into flat Earth. It just goes into what we've been taught.
Yeah.
Right, because we're told that the earth rotates around the sun and the sun doesn't move. So is it wrong that the Bible said sun stand still
Well, then
if the
one
sun doesn't
question.
move in the first
Where
place?
will we get gravitational pull? Because you spin so fast, the Earth, we're pulled to the center of it, so we can't break gravity.
Yes.
So then, if the Earth isn't moving, where's that come from?
So again, I just take you back to
Or is it the outside
I just take
standing
you.
that's pushing
I
us?
just take you to the Bible where it says sun stand still. Which here's
But the moon stood still at the same time.
yes.
So it could be, instead of saying the Earth, he's showing his power by saying, I'm going to make these boats stand still, but really, you're stopping the Earth's rotation.
But why not just say that then?
I don't know. He does a lot of things that we won't.
But I'm saying, but then you're not. Then the sun's really not standing still.
Right.
It's a form. But he's saying
And
the
he
sun
can't
stands.
lie.
He can't lie.
All right, we're
Because
done
the sun
anyway.
would always be standing still if the Earth
Yes.
is rotating.
You do
So-
have to allow.
so-
you
and
do have
here's-
to allow some metaphor in the Bible too. I will say that because that if we take everything literally, that there's a lot of things that are said in the Bible that are you're just like, huh? Like
Yeah.
with genocides and things like that. There's a lot of metaphorical talk. So could it be? I'll pose this question to you, and we won't get into it. But could it be metaphorical talk? Like the sun stands still is like it's not actually the sun standing still. It's God's like using poetic speech. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel that. If
Well, he
the-
says too, the sun rises and the sun sets.
Yes.
In the Bible too.
So the sun's moving.
The sun, according to with the scripture we have, you never hear about the earth standing still, and you never hear about the earth. You hear about the earth coming in and out of water. So the earth is moving at some, but he's delivering it from judgment.
So, and here's my only reason to think this. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more powerful you are. Think about it. If someone's really good at something that you want and they know about it, you go to them.
Right.
NASA wants to seem so knowledgeable.
Oh, sorry. Also, I said the wrong word. Not metaphor. Hyperbole.
Yeah, so NASA wants to seem so powerful. They want to tell you what it is, so then they are a what? Believable source.
Right.
But
Right.
what if they don't know? What if this is just proving that you don't even know how the everything rotates and works?
I like it.
If that's that simple,
Listen.
if it's that simple, then it's that complicated.
Right.
Because if we don't even know that, then they don't even know how satellites really work.
So let's say this then. We're at a good place to call it. We're at like an hour and 20.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that's our
That's our preview. So you guys let us know in the comments if you made it this far. This was our first segment of Conspiracy Christians where we dive into a conspiracy. It won't always be out of the Bible, but it'll always be Christians talking about a conspiracy. So sometimes there'll be verses in the Bible that we dive into, and like Revelations today with the Antichrist. Other times it'll just be conspiracies out in the world. Then we give our Christian worldview take on those conspiracies. So let us know. Did you enjoy this one? Are you excited for the next one that we just talked about? We're definitely excited to bring it back. So-
Before you go, NASA in the Hebrew, you will not believe it. The primitive root to lead astray.
The word NASA means to lead astray.
Yeah,
in
the word
Hebrew.
NASA means.
I
to
think
lead
we
astray.
need answers. I think we need to start a fundraiser, and we need
A
to
GoFundMe.
fund.
Ah.
I don't want to fund you. No, but no, because Dan came up with this idea. I think he needs to go to Antarctica. I think we need.
I'm down. Send me.
We need to start.
But I need a
fundraiser,
parka. I need
all
to afford
We
a
need to
parka.
get him
You and
the
Jamie.
equipment, some kind
little-
of submersible.
Remember the old alien guns we had when we were kids?
I thought that's where he's been this whole time. We start
We
off the
sat in there with a
podcast
little
with
ray gun.
So we
With a big headset.
Yo,
His big
send me.
earphones.
Hold on,
He's got
I
his
like-
big earmuffs on.
I like remarks going.
At the
Send
ice
me.
wall.
we gotta send him. Be like 30,000
you
leagues
got
under
over
the
there,
sea.
Dan?
Send me.
It's cold.
What's the Bible
case
say?
went cold.
Send me and I will go.
It went real cold.
Yeah, here am I, Lord, send me.
Yeah, here am I.
We need answers.
Here am I, Mark. Send me.
Do we have a Hallmark moment?
Yeah, I'll have one. Of course.
All right, cool.
All right, so we're going to close you guys out. We'll end it. Stick around for the Hallmark
Let Dan
moment.
be the
Thank you guys for
recipient.
sticking around
Nope.
this long. We hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Nice
Remember,
try.
talk about the Bible.
Amen.
Have fun with it. It's a good book to discuss with your family, with your friends. We just had a good time
And that's
talking
a good
about
point,
it for
Chris.
over an hour.
Like we got to bring up little in the future.
Right.
Samson, how did he fight?
Right.
He didn't just stand there with a jawbone and whack a soldier
Right.
every time they came.
Right.
Like whack-a-mole. He
The Bible is an interesting,
3,000
intriguing
soldiers at one time. With
It's
a
an
jawbone.
intriguing book, and we have
So
to have
we
more
swung
fun.
it once and probably took 7 or 8
Or what
out.
did he use it as a boomerang?
All right, let me close out now. It's an intriguing book that we should talk about more often. So if anything you get from this podcast, get that. Talk about the Bible. Have fun with it. We love you guys. We hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you guys for the next Conspiracy Christians.
And before you leave, if
Yeah.
you'd like to see Dan more, let us know in the comments.
Or
Yes.
less, send money so we can send him to
To Antarctica. All right, we love
Let's
you
go that
guys.
Mark back.
Enjoy
Love
the
you. God
Hallmark
bless.
movement. Have a great week. We love you.
Yep.
See you guys.
Sam?
Hey guys, this is Mark. Obviously a hallway. Another Hallmark moment. I love having fun with Pastor, so as usual, we'll have fun with Pastor today. Hey Pastor, you got a minute?
Yeah, sure. Why not, Mark?
Yeah. All right, it's a minute. Thanks, Pastor.
Are you serious? The gall